My name is Michael O'Brien. I'm reaching out to you from just north of New York City in the southernmost section of Connecticut with the most exciting opportunity I have seen in my entire direct sales career, folks. The energy level, the enthusiasm, it's really hard to capture in words, but you're in for a very, very special treat today. And there's a gentleman I came to know better over the last couple of months who recently we reached out to and tapped him on the shoulder. And like many of you, he took a look at this and he felt, a little bit unfamiliar with it. But when he took a second look, he took on a passionate approach to this, folks, in the last 24 hours, the likes of which I've never seen in my direct sales career. He was up until almost 6 a.m. And folks, yesterday afternoon, after enrolling at 5, he had a spontaneous Zoom with about 25, 30 participants. And then about 2 hours, 3 hours later, we had almost 70 people on a Zoom. He's got a passion and an energy that's very infectious. And allow me to introduce someone I admire and respect. He's running 8 to faint with this opportunity, Mr. Sal Khan out of Pompano Beach, Florida, who has the honor, folks, of introducing a very special guest speaker. So, Sal, with that, take it away, my friend.
I appreciate you, Brian. Thank you so much, Michael, for everything that you have done. Yesterday was the day that it really clicked with me. I'll share with you guys my story, my background, and what happened in the past literally 24 hours or 23 hours. It'll be 24 hours in an hour. So let's dive back. I used to be a medical school student. My father had a heart attack, pushed me into the world of entrepreneurship. I dropped out of school with close to $100,000 of debt. That led me in a weird position where I was working overnight jobs. I was working a daytime job, not having a car. It was just a weird time in life, but I knew that someday it would all work out. Today, I have thriving businesses. I have a gorgeous physical office here, and I have other opportunities and other businesses that I'm working on. So I don't need something else on my plate. And I'm trying by default to say no when someone brings me an opportunity because I already have things that I'm focusing on. So a friend of mine, Robert, whom I have tremendous amount of respect for, when he brings me an opportunity, I have a bit more respect for. But even then, I was like, Robert, I'm doing other things. I can't add more on. I need to take things off my plate. So he brought this to me 2 days ago, and he mentioned some terminologies that it turned me off. That really turned me off. I was like, I don't want to get involved. Crowdfunding, fundraiser, donations, those words extremely not the sexiest words that I wanted to hear. So yesterday he called me for another reason about another opportunity that we were both a part of. He needed some support there, so I gave him that support. And when we were about to hang up, he said, by the way, there are some other people that have earned this or that or received this amount, and I was like, interesting. And so I had a deeper conversation. He connected me with Brian on the phone, and then we had another conversation with other people like Bob and Bill, and got me well connected to the point where I was on the way to my office, and I was like, you're telling me that I could receive $10,000 in possibly the next 10 days? And I believe it was Bill or Bob that mentioned that you could do it even in a shorter period of time. And I see that our guest of honor has joined us. So what happened then was I said, okay, if I gather my leaders, could you guys do a presentation? Because I don't even know all the details to do a presentation. And they said they would take responsibility over gathering the presenter. I said, let me get to work in getting the audience. So I had an emergency webinar, 2-hour notice to my people, and my people were wondering, like, what's happening? Why is there an emergency webinar on Friday evening? And I said, trust me, it's worth it. Hop on, all that stuff. We had about 25 to 30 people on that webinar. And as we were doing that webinar, both my phones were blowing up with messages. Someone was saying, shut up and just send me the link. What we have here, and trust me, I've been in network marketing for now 4 or 5 years, ever since I dropped out and had to work those odd jobs. I found a better way through the opportunities that are outside the 9 to 5. And I've done many opportunities that I put my heart and soul into. I rented out auditoriums. I rented out bus stop ads. I did radio ads. I put so much of myself into these companies. The net profit I made, well, it wasn't profit. I was in the red. And if I made anything, it was just a small amount. So input to output ratio, very, very bad mathematics. Here, you get direct deposits into your Cash App, into your PayPal, into your Venmo, into your bank account, into your Coinbase. How amazing is that? That you could begin an opportunity in the morning, by the afternoon, by the evening, you could have money to pay for your groceries, you could have money to pay your car bill, your water bill, your electricity bill, do something nice for the wife, do something nice for your kids, that you could have that not by the end of the year, not by the end of the month, not by the end of the week, but by the end of the day. And that's why, because more than me, I can succeed in just about anything that I put my mind to. But I wanted to see my people succeed. My people that have followed me from adventure to adventure to adventure, and I wanted them to have a positive experience of I made some money. There's someone on the call, Judy, who joined last night, and she has been such a devoted friend and follower of my journeys. She joined last night, and she already woke up in profit. And that's a wonderful feeling to see her succeed. She's going to be joining me at the office in a few minutes. But guys, I found something here that has forced me to put everything else on pause. I was supposed to do a webinar today at this time for another opportunity. I had to cancel that webinar, redirect it to someone else, and hop on here, because more than I can see myself succeeding, I can see my people succeeding. I can see them getting deposited funds in their account. And I'm really, really happy to work on this, because I see the impact that I can make on someone's life. There's someone that I'm talking to who said that this can help save my mom's house. That leaves a deep impression on the kind of work that you do. This can save families and marriages and homes and cars, and help the kids get what they deserve for the holiday seasons. That's why I'm devoting all my attention to this. And I'm honored by the leadership of this organization. I'm honored that they have seen my hustle. Like, think about this. I joined at 4. It has not been 24 hours. And the leadership of this company has seen my efforts, has seen how relentless I have been. Since then, I have done webinars, 3-way calls, both these phones I have been on. I have not gone to bed until about 6:45 a.m. And it was at that point that I took a power nap, set an alarm, got up, and I felt guilty for sleeping, took a quick shower. I have not had anything physical to eat other than the shake. In fact, Judy is bringing me lunch afterwards. So I've done many things. This resonates so well because people will get money directly in a form that they can use it, not back office money. Many of us have been back office rich, real life poor. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of people putting in money and not getting anything out of it, paying monthly auto ships, not getting anything out of it. And so with all of that being said, and getting to share a bit of my story with you, by the way, let me give you guys a tour of my office, if you guys now have seen. So this is my desk. The most interesting part that I want to show you guys is this right here. This is in South Florida. This is a presentation room with about 50 chairs, 2 giant screen TVs, whiteboards for presentation. I'm going to fill up this room. I'm going to make a movement in South Florida, and I'm going to get our beloved CEO to come and pay me a visit here. Speaking of him, we are deeply honored by his presence today. Bill, who saw my efforts on Facebook, saw everything that I was doing, one of the top leaders in this opportunity, he saw the hustle that I was putting in. He got me on the phone with David, the CEO and the founder of this opportunity. And so we had a conversation, and then I asked him for a favor. I said, would you mind hopping on to a Zoom call that I'm going to be doing tomorrow? And he graciously accepted. And so I'd like to turn our attention and our gratitude towards Mr. David Rosen for opening up this opportunity and changing and touching the lives of everyone that's on here and all the people that we'll touch. So, Mr. David, I appreciate you being on here, and we are deeply honored by your presence. How are you doing today, and how are you seeing the momentum and movement of this opportunity?
Well, I'm doing great, and thanks. You're doing a great job, Sal. You got a lot of energy, and you're leading your team, and you're doing a great job with that. And you know, it's good that you can see the opportunity here, and that you've latched on, because you know they always say it's the early adopters that really benefit the most from new opportunities. And just to be clear, 50/50 is not a new opportunity. It's an enhancement of my first system, which we've been doing now since 2002. And that first system has helped over 670,000 people worldwide, and they exchange back and forth between themselves almost $1 billion. So the system works. We've just made some enhancements to make it better. And with the enhancements that we've made, so that you can now receive on all 6 positions instead of just the bottom 4, it's doing some amazing things, and people are getting amazing results right now. Like the lady that you talked about who saved her mom's home. In a mere 3 weeks, we've had literally hundreds and hundreds of stories already of people where they were about to be evicted, and you know, they needed X amount of dollars, and they joined our 50-50 crowdfunding, and they were able to raise the funds that they needed to avert them being thrown out in the streets with 4 kids at this time of year, which would have been terrible. So 50-50 is an awesome way to raise funds for your needs. And for those of you that don't know what crowdfunding is as the dictionary describes it, I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't have the written copy right in front of me, but the dictionary describes crowdfunding, and as you know, if it's in the dictionary, that's an authoritative third party who validates exactly what we're doing. And it says that it is raising a large amount of funds from a large number of people anywhere in the world, typically via the internet. And that's exactly what we're doing. So crowdfunding can be used to raise funds for virtually anything from anyone, anywhere in the world. And to give you an example of some of the people and entities that have used crowdfunding in the past, for example, Barack Obama used crowdfunding for his first and second presidential campaign. The country of India right now is using crowdfunding to help them raise funds for the natural disaster that took place last week. They're now using crowdfunding to raise funds for that. Tens of millions of people around the world have used crowdfunding for virtually everything and anything. And 50% of all crowdfunding is used for personal use. That's people like you and I and others that are joining 50-50. And they're using it to pay off their student loan, go through medical school, buy a new boat, pay off their mortgage. One guy raised funds on one of the crowdfunding sites. He actually created a video, smiled into the camera, and said, "I want money for a case of beer." And people actually sent him money for a case of beer. So you can use crowdfunding for virtually anything. We just happen to do it better than anybody else. And the reason why I say that is because for the first time ever, we're actually turning givers into receivers. And in most crowdfunding situations, you give to a cause. Maybe someone broke their leg and you give to that cause, but you don't get anything back except a good feeling, which is awesome, and a pat on the back, again, which is awesome because you've helped somebody. But now you get to help somebody, but you also get to help yourself at the same time. So what we set up here is totally awesome, and I can see it helping millions of people around the world in a very, very short period of time. The growth is faster than it was with 50-50, and we're just coming out of the gates right now, and we're helping a lot of people, and it's phenomenal. And so many people are being helped with all kinds of different causes. So, Sal, what you're doing is great. Taking the time to educate your people, taking your time to get them involved, taking the time to help them understand that what we're doing is awesome and can help the other people, right? Because in 50-50, we do 3 things. We give, we share, and we receive. If you're not willing to do those 3 things, then you're not going to receive benefit. So the first thing that we do is we give it. And by giving, we choose a person that we want to give to. And that might be Sal, it might be Bill, it might be somebody else. And when you give to the cause of their choice, it also helps one other choice as well, because it goes, your donation is split 50-50 to go to help 2 people, which is awesome. So each donation goes to help 2 people. When you give, you then in turn have the ability to set up your very own crowdfunding campaign and share it with people that you know. And the sharing part is just totally awesome. And the reason why the sharing part is totally awesome is because I'm not going to you and saying, can you help me with something? I'm going to you and I'm telling you that I joined 50-50 because I wanted to raise funds for A, B, C, or D. Is there anything that I can help you with? Is there anything that you need funds for? And, you know, Sal might say, yeah, I've got, you know, $42,000 in student loans. I'll tell Sal I can help him, right? So think about that for a minute. We're not saying help me. We're saying we want to help you. So when you set up your campaign, you share your campaign, and when you share your campaign and others who want to be helped, they begin helping themselves by making a donation to your campaign. So we give, share, and we receive. Those are three laws that are part of the universe that governs us, and they're part of the three universal laws. So, you know, when you're working in harmony with the universe, then great things can happen. Back to you, Sal.
David, I really appreciate those words of wisdom. I wanted to mention something about student loans. As I mentioned, I dropped out of med school. As you can imagine, that is not cheap to do, not wise to do either. But circumstance pushed me into that. When you have two younger brothers and a mom that doesn't work, and the father that is no longer able to work, then you have to make some tough decisions. And I made that, and I'm proud of those decisions. But it hasn't been easy. But I wanted to mention something about that. I wish I had known about an opportunity like this last year, because last year I paid $90,700 as a settlement to all my student loans. Like, came out of my bank account.
Listen, you should feel thankful that you're able to pay that $90,000, because most people can't pay they don't have the money to pay their student loans. And you know, it's my biggest pet peeve is student loans, because student loan debt in North America is higher than credit card debt, which is ridiculous. So our students are leaving school with an average of 10 years worth of student debt to pay before they can think about starting their own business, buying a new car, buying a house, starting a family. It's just ridiculous. Our students shouldn't be burdened with that. And 50-50 is going to help a lot of students leave school debt-free and with enough money in their pocket to start their lives off properly.
Absolutely. And now I get to help other people do the same, because I too have a vengeance against student loans, as you can imagine, coming where I've come from. I wanted to say something before asking you another question, which is, I see a lot of people here, whether they're in their cars, in their beds, in their homes, just weird places. I'm very proud of you. I'm extremely proud of you for being here, for taking the time to be here. Maybe because you heard something, saw something, someone has reached out to you. I'm proud of that person that reached out to you, and I'm proud of you for being here. We're at the final brink of 2018 with 66 days left. And 66 days is a special number because that's the number of days that it's said to create a new habit, to create some lasting change in your life. And that's exactly what we have here, is just enough time with an opportunity like this. And that's why I've latched onto this so strong, is because for me, it was the alignment of I'm looking for something to create revenue in my people's bank account immediately. And I've tried many things that took months and months, and it was a gradual build, and pre-launch that, and app development that, and just delays and payment delays, and it's frustrating. But when you can see a payment that's made to you that you can use today to pay a bill, that to me clicked. I had a friend from another opportunity, a sponsor from another opportunity, called me today and said, Sal, what do you see in this opportunity that you've canceled the other webinar I was supposed to do at this time? And I said, you know what? Seeing my people make money that they can spend today is something that I don't get in any other opportunity. Think about what other opportunities you get. You get paid the same day you can actually use, and payday can be every day. So it's extremely powerful. And I want to stress the fact that you have something very special here. If you don't yet understand all the details, just understand the feeling, understand that there is a momentum, understand that there is something here, understand that there is something that requires your attention here. And whoever it is that brought you here, get back to them to get the finer details. We're here to just share the philosophy of what this opportunity is, and some of the success stories of what this is. The full business opportunity presentation and the sharing and the receiving will be covered in more in depth in other training-based Zooms. I wanted to ask you, David, about some of the questions that people have at the forefront of their mind in regards to longevity and legality of what we're doing here, because you have a successful model that's been running for 16 years, and from what I understand, it's still running. This is just a more enhanced and more systemized version of that. So do cover those topics of longevity and legality.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, longevity, 50-50, when when you and I are dust, 50-50 will still be here providing benefit to our ancestors. So it'll be here for a long time. And the reason why it's going to be here for a long time, my church system is still going. It's been going for 16 years. It's still going now. But crowdfunding is a new phenomena that is here to stay. Right now, with they are predicting by 2025 that over 800 million jobs will be lost to technology. Those 800 million jobs need to be replaced by something. At this point, we don't have any way of replacing that income. So crowdfunding is an opportunity to replace that income that you lost from that job. And crowdfunding is going to give you the opportunity to support your family. It's going to give you an opportunity to get your big idea started. And it's going to be an awesome opportunity for both big business and the government to raise funds for the things that they need as well. So crowdfunding is definitely here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And the legality part, if it wasn't legal, then people like Barack Obama, Shaquille O'Neal, almost every entertainer in Hollywood, and tens of millions of other people around the world would be in jail because they all do it. Almost all movies.
They're running tails. I'm going to be going over there in a little bit.
Can you mute that person, Sal?
Michael, would you mute everyone except
all right.
David?
So as I was saying, almost all movies right now are being the funds are being raised using crowdfunding. And what we've done is we've made crowdfunding accessible, because in most crowdfunding environments, you have to know thousands. And if you need to raise $200,000, for example, for whatever cause, maybe you're expanding your church, you have to have thousands and thousands of donors. If you don't have thousands and thousands of donors, you cannot raise that $200,000. If you need to raise $200,000, you have to speak to thousands and thousands of donors. And that's very time consuming. So in 50-50, two people can help you raise all the funds you need to expand the church that you're looking for. So it's a really awesome opportunity. And the thing is that the way 50-50 is set up, people that have very limited skills, they don't know very many people, they don't have very much time, they have limited skills in being able to communicate with people, they can be successful in 50-50, and they are being successful in 50-50. And then you look at people like yourself who are, talented, energetic, good looking on screen, great presenter, and you're sharing this opportunity with the masses. You're going to do exceptionally well, right? But the beautiful thing is, and this is what I'm getting from Joe, it's what I'm getting from John, it's what I'm getting from Billy, it's what I'm getting from Sally, it's what I'm getting from Mary, it's what I'm getting from Rebecca, Jessica, everybody. The thing is that everybody is receiving something because they're giving, sharing, and receiving. So the thing is that it's not just your 1 or 2 or 3% of the people that are receiving. It's everybody who wants to, at least do that minimal, which is give, share, and receive, and help a couple of people.
Awesome. I have a very important question before we dive into my favorite part about this opportunity, which are the stories. The stories that we create are the most joyful and fulfilling, because you get so many of these stories so quickly. And as you mentioned, since October 3rd, there's been a bunch of stories. So I do want to dive into stories. I want to address something. I've been in many sales opportunities. I worked selling full house water treatment system. I worked selling knives door to door. Try doing that. That is not an easy thing to do, walking up to someone's door and trying to sell them knives. But I've done all those odd things. And the commission may range from 10% to 15%, 30, 40, 50 if they're generous. Here, the commissions, everything that is donated, 100% of that is paid to real life people like you and I. Now, from what I understand, and again, this is less than 24 hours. In 30 minutes, actually 1 hour, it'll make 24 hours that I've joined the opportunity. So from what I understand, the company makes money by the $29 sign up that is paid twice a year. Correct?
Yeah, we're really, the company's not really making that much money, because that $29, that's for 6 months. So it's essentially, it's just a little bit less than $5 a month. And that goes to provide you with your hosting, It goes to keep enhancing the system, making the system better, and so on and so forth. It helps with tools that we're creating for you to, make it easier to share your opportunity. In 2001, I was sleeping in cars. I had no money, right? So I was sleeping in cars. I couldn't take my daughter to even take her to McD's for a Happy Meal. And the cars that I was sleeping in, they weren't even mine. So I wasn't even sleeping in my cars. I was sleeping in a car door that might have been open. Oh, so by 2003, though, I was a multimillionaire. So I know what it's like to not have enough. And this is an opportunity to give back to, everybody who just wants, I'm not trying to force people to do it. I'm not out there, selling it for people to do it, but it's my opportunity to give back to the people that are out there who are looking for a break, who need a break. And this is it. So, I don't need to receive all kinds of money. I don't need to take 1% or 2% or 3% of the donations. I want to give it all. I want all the donations to go to you and the people that are out there doing it. This is God gave me this gift to give to you.
No, you're a very gracious man for having come from humble backgrounds. And although I haven't slept for a long time in car, and this is the first time I'm revealing it, there has been.
It'll be a while before you sleep, by the way.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that. But I know what it's like to sleep in a car and to come from those backgrounds, and it's extremely distressing. And when you're out of there, the one thing you want to do is help other people get out of that situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's the spirit of this company, is helping as many people as we can, getting those stories and helping the people that have followed us from adventure to adventure to adventure, and finally seeing them succeed. So I wanted to get a deeper understanding about your journey from back in those early 2000 years. How did you get into this crowd funding space? I can understand the why in terms of what it does for the people. How did you get into this space?
That's a great question. And by the way, I wasn't born rich. When I was growing up, my mom was on social services, in which government was helping us out at the time. But anybody who wants to go from where they are, if they're willing to put forth that effort, I watched my mom go from Social Security to being a $1 million earner in annual earner in real estate, and changing careers. I watched my dad going from working for a printing company to owning his own printing company, right? So that's the experiences that I saw when I was growing up. So it taught me that anything is possible. And when I first saw network marketing in 1987, I was already an entrepreneur, but all my friends had jobs, which really sucked because I had no one to play with in the day, right? So I thought that network marketing would give them the opportunity to be able to, join me and spend the day with me. But as you already know, 99.99999.3% of the network marketing companies that are out there, they aren't geared as an income. They're geared as a second income. And most people fail at them, not because network marketing is bad, because network marketing is great, but most companies are designed where you really got to work hard. And it could be 6 months, a year, 2 years before you even get to break even. And most people don't understand that. That's why they fail. They give up before they give it, or they don't take the time to understand what the steps are. So I needed to create something that 95% of the people could do, so that they could go from where they are to where they really want to be. And the first system, which was, as I say, is still going right now, it's G1, G4. I believe it's really the forefather to crowdfunding as it is today, because that was the world's first peer-to-peer exchange activity in which people were giving money back and forth in an organized manner online. We were in 150 countries. And, shortly sometime after that, around 2008, 2007, 2008, the first crowdfunding companies popped up, and here we are today. So now we're doing crowdfunding, and it's giving us an opportunity to, change people's lives. And the reason why we're doing it, if I didn't answer the question, is because people needed something that was easy to understand, affordable, and provided great rewards. And that's what we have here.
I appreciate that in-depth answer, because people are looking for these answers to begin diving into. It is a out there concept from the traditional means of network marketing. So,
way out there.
Yeah, it requires. I had some of my leaders saying as they're doing it, they're like, I'm signing up, but this is weird. And I'm
let
like,
me share something else with you. So we're really a cooperative, right? On the site you see it's called a cooperative crowdfunding, right? So let me share with you so that people really get an understanding of, what the 21st century is bringing to us. As I said earlier, 800 million jobs will be lost. They're predicting the 800 million jobs will be lost by 2025. So think about the awesome companies that have come out to provide us an opportunity to earn an income in the last 5-10 years. Give me the name of one that you think came out that is awesome.
Uber.
Right?
Yeah, Airbnb.
Right.
All these other apps that allow you to be a solo entrepreneur.
Right. Uber, Airbnb, eBay, WAG, Vista, not so much Vistaprint, but Uber, Airbnb, ladies and gentlemen, those are cooperatives. Those are opportunities that someone thought of, the same way that I thought of this. Those are opportunities that someone thought of so that you can make money where you couldn't before. So think of Airbnb, for example. So if you got a home and you got a spare room and you need an extra $1,000 a month to pay your bills, you can rent that spare room out using Airbnb, and that'll allow you to pay your bills. If you have a car and you drive back and forth to work, you can use your car after work as a taxi and earn money through Airbnb. We have taken crowdfunding and cooperatives, married them together, and made crowdfunding accessible to everybody.
That is the decentralization. We're in that era of decentralization. This
100%.
And I'm glad to be a part of it, because there's this movement of empowerment to the everyday person versus big conglomerates like the taxi industry, like the Hiltons of the world. And now we get to participate in that, and no longer can just companies and major movies and politicians raise funds, but we can as well. And I love what you said about turning the giver into a receiver now, because there is a great feeling in giving, but wouldn't it be nice if that could also put you in a position where you could receive? Now, I'm going to turn to Michael in a minute to share some stories and call some of the other leaders to share their experience. I've shared what happened within less than 24 hours of my own journey. I do want to turn our attention to the receiving side of things. From what I understand, it's a totally international business, or how international is this? And what is the benefit of building a team? From what I understand, we have packages of donations of $250, $500, $1,000, $2,000, and $4,000, of which the direct referrer, meaning if you refer someone, you would receive half of that donation, and the other half is systematically given to someone that is next in line.
It's not next in line, so it's not like we're all, the system is just spreading out the donations. It works in a hierarchy. So if I invited you, for example, 50% of your donations and your re-entry donations on your recycles would go to me, and as much as 50% of the people that you invite would also go to me. But because we work as a team, I like to call it team crowdfunding. We work as a team. My teammates, you've got 6 positions there. In the first cycle, you might land on my first level, and if I go out and I get busy with it, and people fall under you, you're going to receive donations, even though you haven't done anything. On the second cycle, you might land on my second level, meaning that you're going to give me a donation, but you're also going to give the donation to the teammate that you fell in under. So it's based on a hierarchy. And it's based on the individual efforts. If you do nothing, you should expect to get nothing. However, it is possible to receive. But don't join 50-50 because you think that you can get something for nothing, because it doesn't usually work that way. If you're a shoe salesman and you walk into your shoe store and you sit on a chair and watch all the other salespeople sell shoes all day, at the end of the day, you're going to walk out of that shoe store and you're not going to have enough to get a bottle of water. But if you get busy with it, then you can eat well. So you want to build a good team. And here's 2 things that are very, very important. And I hope everybody's listening, because these are the 2 most important things. if somebody registers, or if you're talking to a friend and they say, hey, David, listen, I love the system, but I don't know 2 people. Don't put them in and give them 2 people. Because if you do, you're putting 2 potential team players with a weak person. So that those team players are going to keep cycling under that weak person. So you're not going to benefit from the team play. And they'll probably quit. So never give anybody away, because it doesn't work very well, because it doesn't help that, it doesn't help you, and it doesn't help them. If a person can't find 2, and I'm as I said, I was sleeping in cars, right? So I want to help as many people as possible. But if a person's not willing to at least help themselves, then they shouldn't come in, right? So never give any teammates away. The second thing that's really important, because we have that gene that says we want to give, we want to help, we want to support our neighbors, we want to support our friends. Never bring your mom in or your brother in just because you want to occupy a space and you want them to receive donations, because that's the same way as giving people away. If you want to help your mom, which I'm sure you do, because I do, instead of putting them into the system, just take some of the donations that you're receiving and give it to them, right? Because that's how you're going to help them the most. And in 50/50, we've all got our causes. You can set up your cause in the back office, right? So we've all got our causes that we're giving to. And the beautiful thing is that we can give to multiple causes. If you want to take 10% and give it to your church, you can take 10% and give it to your church. If you want to take 10% and give it to the United Way, you can take 10% and give it to the United Way. If you want to take 10% and give it to your family, give 10% to your family. If you want to use it to buy a big, big boat, use it to buy a big, big boat, right? Because it's your donations. And there's no laws stipulating on what you need to do with your donations. So you can help as many people as you like, because with 50/50, the funds are coming to you, and it'll allow you now, when you go to church on Sunday or whatever day you go to church, you won't have to be sitting in that church being afraid to tithe, because if you tithe, you can't pay your phone bill. Now you can tithe at the church and you can pay your phone bill. So it's a pretty awesome system.
I definitely know that it's an awesome system, so much so I think my actions prove that. I was telling the person that brought it to my attention that he completely messed up all of my plans, because just before that, yesterday, I was like, I just got a gym membership 2 days ago, and I was like, I need to focus on my physical fitness, eating right, and sleeping. All 3 of those things are now distractions towards this.
Well, you got a shake there. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I've had for the past 24 hours. That's the only shake I've had for the past 24 hours.
And there are books that say you can sleep 4 minutes an hour and survive really well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to practice that. I wanted to touch upon something which is how we can treat this. You can treat this as something that can get you through the week. You can treat this as something that can give you the funds to create an extra 1 paycheck. If you're making $2,000, maybe this can get you to $3,000 a month. Or you can treat this like a life-changing opportunity. You can treat this to get the fundings you need to completely elevate the lifestyle you have and give your family everything that they deserve and help a bunch of people along the way. That's how I'm seeing this. And I want to connect with other people that just not see it as just funds for whether it be the weekends, whether it be just getting by. It's funds to elevate
for everything.
For everything. You can save for your kids' college. You can save up for the marriage that you want. You can save up for the house that you want. You can raise funds for a business that you want to start, investments that you want to do, whatever it is. But you can move your.
I just want to stop you there before I forget this thought, because if you look at this in the proper fashion, right? If you look at this for what it truly is. Most people, and I don't recommend that anyone quits their job yet, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or anything. So don't quit your job, and also don't get in over your head. If you only have $250 to get in that first level, don't use your rent money to get into the $750. We'll be here in a month down the road, in 2 months down the road, or whenever it works for you. Now, think about this. Most of us. Or I had a job once, so I can't, and it only lasted for 3 months. It sucked. So I'm not going to include myself in this, but most people have a job. Now think about what you do at this job. You wake up in the morning, you get dressed, you have your shower well, you have your shower first, you get dressed, you put your clothes on, you have your breakfast, you know, you kiss your wife, you kiss your kids goodbye, you get in your car, and if you're lucky, you're leaving when the traffic's not too bad. If you're not lucky, you're leaving when the traffic's bad and you're fighting traffic. Then you get to your job, you sit yourself down in the desk, and your boss says, get to work. And then at around 10:30, they say you can have a 15-minute break. You rush out, you have that 15-minute break, you rush back in, you know, you got that food that's half digested, it's probably still stuck in your throat, and now you got to work until noon. And then you get a half-hour lunch, some people get an hour, you get a half-hour lunch, and now you got to go up and you got to rush your lunch, and then you got to come back, and then you get another 15-minute break in the afternoon, and then you got to fight traffic to get back home. Now, in the industrial age, in the 20th century, that's what we were taught to do. You know, we were taught to get a good education and hopefully get a job. That's gone out the window. The industrial age is dead. So now you have to think of yourself, because that job that you hate may be gone tomorrow. But if you're willing to sacrifice your time, your energy, your brain power, your love for your family for somebody else's welfare, dude, think about what we're doing here. We are helping our loved ones. We are helping our friends. We are helping strangers. The person who pours our coffee in the afternoon. We are helping people. Take a small portion of that 8-hour day, that 10-hour day that you use, and use it for yourself. Just take 10% a day of your day and use it to further your entrepreneurial spirit using 50-50. It doesn't have to be 50-50. It could be something else. But just think about what would happen in a year from now if you took 10% of your time and you spent it on you. And that's exactly what you're talking about right here, Sal. So keep it up, man, because this is what we're doing. This is all about you. It's not about me. It's about you. So the next time an opportunity comes your way, don't say it's one of those pyramid thingies. Don't say it's one of those Ponzi things. Don't say it's one of those things that you have absolutely no idea what it is. Investigate what the person is offering you. And I'm not just talking about 50-50. I'm talking about look for the things that are going to improve your life and your family. Wouldn't you love to spend more time with your children? Wouldn't you love to spend more time with your wife? Wouldn't you love to spend more time with your mom? Wouldn't you love to take that vacation when you want to take that vacation? That's what life is all about. And my philosophy is, when I start building a system, is that I'm going to create a system that people want to use and share. And if I build a system that people want to use and share, they're going to use and share it. And if they start using and sharing it, then they're going to start enjoying their full measure of happiness and have the life that they desire.
Wow. The visual imagery you painted, I think, was like a living nightmare. And it brought me back to the days in which I would have to get up at 10 p.m. to go to Walgreens, where I worked as an overnight shift lead, from 11 or 10:30 to 8:30 a.m. Go home and sleep for a few hours, wake up around 1:30 p.m. and go to my daytime job tutoring math until 7 p.m. Come home and take a power nap before heading back to work. I did that for a year.
And most people that's what their life is right now. They've got 2 or 3 jobs because, let me tell you, Toronto is the 4th most expensive city in the entire world. The 4th most expensive city in the entire world. To get the average price to rent an apartment in Toronto is $2,240, and all you get is 740 square feet. So if you're making $10 an hour, you've got to have 3 friends to afford a 740 square foot condo to rent. So, you know, things are against us right now. We need things like 50-50.
A final topic that I want to address before handing it back to Michael to share some wonderful stories is talk about, and as I mentioned, people will see this as maybe, you know, a supplemental way of boosting what they have to fund their day-to-day expenditures like groceries, gas, and other bills. And some may take it and run with it and completely radically change their lives. what is the benefit of building a large organization beyond your first level of?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's a great question. You know, yeah.
We have leaders like that. So what's
all right? So listen, we've all seen different ways to make money. We've seen matrices, we've seen unilevels, you've seen binaries, you've seen one-ups, you've seen, you know, upside down matrices. You've seen all kinds of ways to, you know, supposedly help you to earn a living. In my opinion, a matrix just happens to be the best, because if a matrix is done properly, we can actually help one another. This 2x2 is way different than any other 2x2. Since 2002, people have been trying to duplicate it. They still can't. It's got a super technology that I created called the Mobius loop, and it keeps your entire team together. So in other systems, especially in a matrix, and why most matrices don't work, is that if you have a team, when you finish, half your team goes this way, half your team goes this way, and now you're lost. In this system, everyone stays together. So here's the beauty of building a large team. So even though it says, you know, to optimize it, you know, invite two and have them invite two, and, you know, duplication. If you know a lot of people, if you know 2 people, if you know 2,000 people, invite them all, because we have a position for all of them. Because every time those 6 positions fills up, another one automatically opens up. And if you have a large team, that large team is going to keep cycling back in under you over and over and over again. And every single time that person cycles back in under you, you get another donation. And every time that one of their friends cycles back in under them, you get another donation. So the bigger your team, the faster you're going to cycle, and the more times that you're going to receive donations. So here's something else to think about. For each level, you're only giving a donation once out of pocket. So if you start on the 250 level, for example, you're going to receive 6 donations of 250, and you're going to receive 125, and you're going to receive $725, $750. You take another 250, and then that puts you back in again. If you choose, you can take the other 500, that's profit, and move up into the 500. You don't have to, but you can. And when you cycle in the 500, you can move up to the 1,000, and so on and so forth. So you can actually start with 250 and move up all the way through the ranks. Now, here's the beauty, is that you're only ever once taking a donation out of pocket. Because when you put that 250 in there, that 250 is now going to work for you forever. The only time you ever have to send the 250 again is because you've received 6 donations. Right? So all you're doing is you're taking your original 250 and putting it back to receive more. So there was a girl, I told you a few moments ago, there was a girl who was about to lose her home, and her and her 4 kids and family were going to be put on the street in 4 days. She was crying. She had never heard of 50-50. We were just getting started, actually, so no one heard of 50-50. So she was crying. She was desperate. One of our friends helped her to get into the 250. She cycled. So she got, you know, $750. Within 2 days, she had the $1,600 that she needed to raise in 4 days. She paid off the debt that she had to pay off. Then she moved up into the 500. Then she moved up to the 1,000. Here it is. She's only been in the system for about 2.5 weeks. She now has a 250 wheelhouse working for her, a 500 wheelhouse working for her, a 1,000 wheelhouse working for her, a 2,000 wheelhouse working for her, and a 4,000 wheelhouse working for her. So now at any given point of any day, she can be simultaneously receiving donations on any of those levels. So she might get a $2,000 donation, 3 $1,000 donations, $500 donation, 2 125s, 3 250s. This could happen on a daily basis. And it's all because she decided to give, share, and receive. If you're not going to give, share, and receive, then nothing's going to happen. If all you do is give and you do nothing, it's most likely that that's all that's going to happen for you. So just think about it. Give, share, and receive, and change your life.
David, you mentioned some things that I took notes on because, as you can imagine, still not 24 hours yet. There's a lot of things that I'm needing to learn. I just saw the opportunity, and there's something that Michael O'Brien said that really lit me up, which is money loves speed. And without any hesitation, I held that webinar and just kept running. from what I understand, one could just, they only need to donate one time. The rest of the funds would come from funds that they receive. So the math.
Here's the math. Check this out. Here's the math.
Okay, go.
Right. So you enter the 250. So everything. This is 16 years in the making. So this is really a perfect system, right? So you enter with the 250 because that's all you have right now. So when you cycle in that 250, that gives you 750. You take 250, that puts you back into the 250. And by the way, you don't have to. There's no one that forces you. You only do it if you want to, right? So you take 250, it automatically puts you back in. You take 500, you go into the 500 matrix. When you cycle on the 500 matrix, you're going to get $1,500. You take 500, you put it back in. You take 1,000, you move to the $1,000 matrix. When you cycle on the $1,000 matrix, you're going to get $3,000. You take 1,000, you put it back in. You take 2,000, you move to 2,000. When you cycle on the 2,000, you're going to get 6,000. So you take 2,000, use it to get yourself back into the 2,000. You take 4,000, you get into the 4,000. You started with $250. All you ever did was take $250 out of your pocket one time, and now you've got $7,750 working for you 24 hours a day, potentially for the rest of your life.
I didn't even know that when I joined. This just got a lot better. I can't wait to actually do a training and explain how powerful this is. So I mean, and let me ask, if someone is going all
out.
And
one other thing, all right? Because by the way, I could talk forever, right? No. So here's one other thing. So you need to have two people on each of those levels. Okay. So if you're following that philosophy and you invite two people or more, what are they doing?
They're doing the same thing.
They're following that philosophy, right? Yeah. So it's the same people that are moving you up and up and up and up and up and up. So you're always staying with that team. So your team is helping you over and over and over again all the way through. And no one's taking anything else more out of their pocket. It's because they benefited. It's like having your own business, right? If you have I don't know, a water filter business. I'm just coming up with that. If you have a water filter business, you go out and you buy 10 water filters. You sell those 10 water filters. If you want to make more money, you got to go and buy more water filters. So you take the money that you made from those 10 water filters and you buy more water. Maybe you can buy 20 now. And then you sell the 20, then you sell 40. This is the same thing. Right? You're growing your opportunity.
We got the right amount of comments, or the right kind of comments in there. Love it, bam, and my favorite, OMG, love this dude. Seeing the whole big picture, and people are understanding it now, because if it's not explained correctly, they can misconstrue what this is. And I myself, like when we were doing the webinar yesterday, it wasn't just for my people. I was learning too. So here, right. I got to learn a lot more. So I am extremely grateful that we had this wonderful master.
I got to say one more thing. I keep saying I got to say one more thing, but because we've been doing this so long, and I absolutely love doing what I'm doing. Most of us have been involved in another venture that may have not worked out so well. And we invited our friends. We invited our family. Our family might have lost some money, and now you're afraid to go back to them with something new. Most businesses, when you join them, it really ticks me off too. Most businesses, when you join them, they say, buy leads. First spend money on the business, then spend money on buy leads, and spend more money out of your pocket. And at the end of the day, the only thing you have is empty pockets, right? So that sucks. So here's what I'm telling everybody right now. This system works. Let people understand how it works, what we do. Don't buy leads. Don't go to strangers. Go to your loved ones. Go to your brother. Go to your sister. Go to your mom. Go to your family. Go to your school teacher. Go to the people that are closest to you, because this system works. You don't have to go to the strangers. And as I like to say, I've been saying this all my life. When I'm rich, I want to have rich friends. Right? So go to the people that you care most about. Let them take a look at the system. Let them understand how it works. And I can tell you right now, when you go to them, they're going to say, it's one of those things. You told me about one of those last week. I'm not doing this. It's one of those Ponzi. It's one of those pyramid thingamajiggies. They're going to come back to you and they're going to say no. Say, okay, listen, that's cool. I'm going to hit you back up next week, or I'm going to hit you back up in a few days. Be consistent. don't give up on them, because all they're doing is they want you to prove that it works. So stick to your guns. Don't let anybody else spoil your dreams. But what you surely can do is you can wake up the dreams of others. So just because they said no today, they may not say no tomorrow. So stick with it.
Awesome. David, I think you and I have been the center of attention for a long time. And now I would love Michael to point out some of the other leaders that and have them share their story, because you guys gotten to understand what I've done, what I've been able to do in the past 24 hours, and why I have paused other projects that I have been diving deep into, where I have funds allocated and teams allocated, where I canceled 3 appointments last night, and I canceled a webinar that I had today to direct my attention to this. My team is all like, something is happening here for Sal to drop everything and focus on this. And I'm extremely honored, again, by the leadership, by everyone that's allowed me to get to David and be able to co-host this webinar with other top leaders. So, Michael, do allocate the attention now to other leaders and have them share their wonderful stories with all of us.
Oh, sure thing, Sal. Well, first of all, I want to thank David for his time here, making yourself available. And, you know, one of the things that I was speaking, David, is having that 16-year tenure. You have such a body of work to turn towards. And I want everyone to understand, you know, when we have the opportunity to hear David speak, there are nuggets that are going to come from that period of time, from his entire life. And, you know, realize the importance of being here, because quite frankly, it feels like 5 minutes went by, you know, and we've been on for almost an hour. And so first of all, I want to thank you for that. Secondly, I want to give a big shout out to Sal, who has worked tirelessly in the last 24 hours. And he brings that special passion and that special energy. And it's very magnetic. It's very contagious. And I really love that. And, you know, we've had testimonial-centric calls here almost nonstop. And one of the things that I want to really focus on, and let's face it, it's super exciting, this opportunity. It's exhilarating. It's very inspiring. The ability to help others. You know, that's what really touches me. But we've got to think almost pragmatically at times, and our ability to take advantage of this opportunity really comes down to its sustainability, right? And we want to protect the opportunity. And there's a gentleman that I spoke to earlier today, and you know, there's certain words of wisdom today that we spoke to: give, share, and receive. You know, we want to cultivate and inculcate that kind of terminology into our everyday speaking. Give, share, receive. And he's going to speak to the right way our community needs to start to communicate to help us protect this opportunity. And he's a tremendous leader. I must have called him 30 times in the past 3 or 4 days. And I kid you not, there hasn't been one time where I got voicemail, I'll call you back, you know, that auto text thing, not one time. And he's someone I admire and respect, and that's Mr. Bill Resides. So, Bill, if you're out there, I know you've been traveling a lot and really have had the pedal to the metal with this opportunity. If you could speak to what I was looking to, cultivating that new culture and how to speak about the opportunity to help protect it, that would be great. Bill, are you out there? He might be out of range. Bob, is Bill Resides available?
I'm trying to find him here. I know he's...
Well, while you're doing that, I know that we've had someone that has really, really just been going around the clock. He's almost lost his voice. And he's an inspiration to me, and that's Mr. Kenny Williams and his lovely wife, Frances Williams. And they epitomize, you know, the kind of focus, the kind of stamina this type of opportunity inspires. So, Kenny, with that, if you'll share a few words of your experience here with the opportunity, that would be greatly appreciated.
Hey, Michael, if you don't mind, let me just interject here for a minute. And thank you, Michael. It's nice to meet you, by the way. We've talked several times on the phone. Very nice to meet you. Thank you, sir. I just want to let everyone know I need to jump off. I got another conference that I'm getting ready to do. All of you guys are awesome. You're with a great team. You got great leadership. Sal, I'm just meeting for the very first time. Awesome dude. Keep it up. And everybody else, thank you and God bless.